everybody. Welcome to Bhagavad Gita class on Monday evenings in Hawaii. And now we will start some Kirtan. Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimati Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radharani Shri Vasudeva Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Bhaktivinoda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Bhaktivinoda Hari Bol
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga. Hari Bol. Jayam Vishnu Paramahamsa Parivajivasitar Shishimam Jagakuru Siddhasurupananda Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnu Paramahamsa Parivajivasitar Shishimam His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koda Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Itai Goes World Mission Ki Jai. Navadvita Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mathura Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai, Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. All glories to some of devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to some of devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to some of devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Amagina Timarandasya Gina Salakaya Chaksurun Militanyena Tajmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantekam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajevam Sadhuitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhi Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavenbhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutale, Srimate Siraswarupananda, Paramahansa Niti Namine, Namo Siraswarupananda, Paramahansa Namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prastayate. Before speaking, first I offer my respectful obeisances under the lotus feet of my spiritual master, Jagat Guru Siddhaswarupananda Srila Prabhupada, whose very dear Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet, Srila Prabhupada is the mercy manifestation of Lord Chaitanya, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, and very dear to Radha and Krishna, Radha Krishna Prastayate. And offer my respects to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are like wish-fulfilling trees, able to fulfill all the desires of the living beings, and full of compassion for all the living entities. Haribol. So continuing with Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, we're up to text 16, and Krishna says, Na sato vichite bhava, na bhavo vichite sataha, ubayo rapi drista antas, tvananyas tatvada shibibi. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, so asat, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, sat, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. So this verse is a little bit of a conclusion of this sort of series of verses that Krishna has been speaking from text 11 through text 15. So text 11, of course, is where Krishna begins to instruct Arjuna after Arjuna has surrendered to Krishna, accepting him as his spiritual teacher, and is asking him to please instruct me. Sishyaste aham tvam prapanam bruhite me. So please instruct me. Bruhite, please instruct me. What is Shreyas? What is most auspicious and beneficial for me? So after this surrender, then Krishna is able to start instructing Arjuna, and starts teaching him the basic ABCs of spiritual life. So beginning in text 11, where Krishna instructs Arjuna that the spirit soul inside the body is eternal, that the pundits or the wise men, they don't lament for neither the living nor the dead. Then in text 12, Krishna explains that that we're always individuals, that Krishna himself, Arjuna, and all the kings here, na tvevaham jatu nasam, na tvam nemi janadibaha, so that everyone on the battlefield, Krishna himself, Arjuna, and everyone else, all jiva atmas, as represented by all the kings on the battlefield, are eternally individual in the past, in the present, and in the future. Then Krishna then explains how we, in this life, we pass from one body to the next, from Kamaram Yavanam Jara, from boyhood to youth to old age. And then similarly we pass to another body at death. And that a dhira, or a sober person, is not bewildered by this. They're not confused by it. Then Krishna moved from discussing the gross physical body and how it, how the soul or the embodied being is separate from the body. He then begins to describe how one should tolerate the happiness and distress, just like we tolerate the winter and summer seasons. Sitoshna sukadukadaha tams tatiksha svabharata Arjuna. Just tolerate happiness and distress as you have to tolerate the coming and goings of the winter and summer seasons. So this is referring to the mind, the subtle body. So in the previous verses, Krishna has been talking about the gross physical body and how one should not lament for its passing. Either it's passing in this life from different stages of life, different bodies, through at the end of life, passing from this body and attaining a new body. So that we shouldn't, that we should tolerate this happiness and distress, this coming and going. And then in 2:15, Krishna describes that one who is able to be equal in this happiness and distress is eligible for liberation. So, in a sense, Krishna here is like giving a little summary or a conclusion of these 5 key verses of the spiritual ABCs, and summarizing it in the sense that he's saying that of the non-existent, the material body, that which is asat, there is no endurance. And that of the eternal, what is known as sat, the soul, there is no change. So, this body is temporary and is known as asat, or unreal. It's temporary, it's passing. But we, the soul, asat, eternal, we do not cease to be. We do not undergo any change. The soul is eternally the same. This body goes through constant changes, but the soul is constant. So, and then after this verse, then Krishna starts to further elaborate on the nature of the soul in much greater detail. So in chapter 1, Arjuna spoke in quite scholarly ways, referring to the Artha and Dharma Shastras and referring to the disciplic succession and coming up with all kinds of reasons why what Krishna wanted him to do, to fight in this battle, why it was wrong, why it was bad. And so in this particular verse, this is like the 5th time that Krishna is chiding or chastising Arjuna for his lack of understanding, that his behavior of not wanting to fight was totally unacceptable. So in text 2 of this chapter 2, Krishna says that his behavior is anarya, not befitting nobility, so that he was behaving as a non-Aryan So an Aryan, the word Aryan means noble, wise, or nobility. It doesn't refer to race, like the Western scholars, when they went to India, they came up with this theory of an Aryan invasion from the north. So, and this was kind of due to their Eurocentric perspective and views of the world. They chose to see like the European culture as being superior, and how could India have such a advanced culture? Well, it had to be because Aryans invaded from the north and brought this from Europe and brought culture with them. So of course this is a bit of a contentious topic in Indian history, and quite a lot of back and forth on it. But many scholarly devotees and Indian scholars themselves have definitively refuted this idea of an Aryan invasion. But in any case, the term Aryan does not refer to a race, but it refers to nobility. And in text 2, Krishna is chastising Arjuna for being lacking in nobility, his weakness, or his klaibyam, and his miserly weakness of heart is unbefitting someone of nobility. And of course, Arjuna is in an extremely noble family, the Pandavas, the Kurus. In one recent verse, Krishna just referred to Arjuna's heritage as the son of Kunti, Kanteya, and as Bharata, the descendant of Maharaj Bharata. And so Arjuna has a very noble lineage, and of course, he's actually the birth son of King Indra, the king of heaven. So how can one have more nobility than the son of the king of heaven? And the son of Maharaj Pandu. So the descendant of Bhishma Dev and Maharaj Santanu. So Arjuna has all this nobility, and Krishna is, like in text 2, like chiding him for his lack of nobility, so not living up to his noble heritage. Then in text 11, Krishna says that the wise do not lament for the living or the dead. And the word Krishna used in this verse is pandit. So a pandit is as defined as a learned, wise man, a scholar, a teacher, a philosopher. So in other words, a person who knows things as they are, who's wise and is scholarly, a teacher. Then such a pandit, a wise man, doesn't lament for neither the living nor the dead, because he actually understands that the embodied, the Dehinaha, does not die. They are eternal. So then in text 13, chapter 2, text 13, Krishna describes that a sober person is not bewildered by this change of body, the change of body that comes at the passing. That as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So in this verse, the word that Krishna uses is adira. Not adira as our nice devotee friend in the Philippines is named, but just no a in front. Adira. So dhira statra namuyate. So a sober person is not bewildered. So dhira comes from the word, or the syllable di, which means wisdom. So a dhira is someone who is sober and wise. So a sober, wise person is not bewildered by the passage of the soul through different changing bodies in this life, and by the passing into another body at death. So a dhira is not bewildered by this. Then in 2:15, Krishna says that a wise person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress, and is steady in both, is certainly eligible for liberation. So in this verse again, Krishna uses the word dhira. So a sober, wise person who's not disturbed by the happiness and distress, and is steady in both, is certainly eligible for liberation. So here there's 4 times Krishna is essentially comparing Arjuna against so Arjuna is like lamenting and is obviously deeply disturbed, like, essentially, he's having a nervous breakdown and is unable to fight. It's actually refusing to fight. His mouth is burning and his limbs are shaking, and hairs are standing on end, and his mouth is dried up. He's talking about going and that he'd prefer to live by begging than to engage in this fight, and he would actually prefer that the Dhritarashtra's headed by Duryodhana should actually kill him. He'd rather die than engage in this fight. And so he's expressing and coming up with all kinds of reasons. I won't go into all the reasons again. But essentially he came up with good reasons as to why he shouldn't have to fight, and even, as I mentioned, referring to the Artha and Dhamma Shastras and to the Sushumna, the disciplic succession, as being justification and reasons as to why he shouldn't fight. But here, so Krishna is, as in a series of verses, has firmly told Arjuna that he's acting without nobility despite his noble heritage. And this is quite a radical thing for Arjuna to accept and process, right? That his whole sense of being is based around his nobility, and here Krishna is telling him, you're not noble, you're a Naraya. And then he's telling him that he's not learned, like a pandit, a learned person, doesn't lament. It doesn't lament for neither the living nor the dead. And that a sober person, a dhira, is not disturbed, is not disturbed on the passing of in this life from boyhood to youth to old age, and similarly the dhira is not disturbed as the soul passes from this body to another body, and that a dhira, a sober person, is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is equal in both, is actually eligible for liberation. So here Arjuna, of course, is not eligible for liberation because he's greatly disturbed by this distressful situation that he's found himself in. So in this verse that we're looking at, 2:16, the term Krishna uses is those who are seers of the truth. So seer of the truth is tattva, darshina, be. So tattva, so tat means that. And this term tat is used throughout the Vedic literatures and actually refers to the absolute truth, the supreme Brahman, Brahman. But this word tat means that. So that meaning like everything, right? And And twa means ness. So tattva means thatness. So the very essence of a thing is its thatness. And so and Dashi B refers to a seer or a seer. So also the word darshan comes from this. So we take darshan or see the deities or see the spiritual master, and by taking darshan of the deity of Krishna and of our spiritual master, then we are greatly spiritually benefited. So just for example, when Prabhupada comes to a gathering, it's like everyone is like, whoa, everyone's like, just by seeing Krishna's representative appear, then the whole mood lifts. Everyone becomes enlivened, spiritually enlivened, and knowing that, he likes us to chant loudly, then everyone lifts the kirtan and chant louder. So just by seeing the devotee of Krishna, we become enthused. Prachodayat. So in the different Gayatri mantras, one of the words is prachodayat, which means to be enthused. So by seeing our spiritual master, we become enthused. And in the Guru Gayatri, it says, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada translates this as that the spiritual master is enthused as he enthuses us. So the spiritual master enthuses us, and then his disciples and students, and then the spiritual master, seeing us enthused, is also enthused. So darshan is the darshan of the spiritual master, the pure lover of Krishna, is very important, and we should take advantage of this at every opportunity we may have. And seeing the deity of Krishna, such as the Nitai Gaur deities who are just up the road from me, having the opportunity to see the deities is a great fortune. So the term here Krishna is using, the tattva darshinaha, so the tattva or darshibihi. So this means the seers of the truth. And in chapter 4, text 34, famous verse where Krishna advises Arjuna that if he wants to know about that, so tad vidi pranipatena pariprajnena sevaya upadekshanti te gyaninas tattvadashinaha. So this word, so tat vidi, if you want to know about that, the word tat again, but if you want to know about that, what he's just been describing about all the different processes for approaching the Supreme, then he should approach with submission and inquiry and service. Pranipatena pariprajnena sevaya. So approaching with submission or humility, with inquiry, sincere, genuine inquiry, without a challenging attitude, and then sevaya, rendering service. Then the upadekshanti te gyanam gyaninas tattvadashineha. Then the gyaninas, the person with knowledge, the spiritual master, who has seen the truth, the tattvadashinaha, will initiate you into knowledge. So upadekshanti te gyanam. So Upadekshanti means to give or to initiate. So this term, Tattvadashinaha, so Krishna uses it here in this verse, in 2:16, to describe that seers of the truth, they've concluded that of the non-existent, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. And then later on, Krishna uses essentially the same word, Tattvadashinaha, to refer to the spiritual master, as he advises Arjuna to just approach a spiritual master. So in any case, through here, so Krishna has called Arjuna a non-noble, a non-Aryan. He's pointed out that the Pandits and the Dhiras and the Tattvadashibhis, they're not disturbed by the coming and going of happiness and distress. They're equal in both. They don't lament for the living nor the dead. They're not disturbed or bewildered on the passage of the soul from this body at the end of life. And they understand the difference between the soul and the body, between Sat, that which is non-changing, the soul, and that which is Asat, or temporary, the material. And so by this point, Arjuna's kind of reeling a little bit, because he was, of course, thinking that that he's doing the right thing. Like that not fighting was the right thing for him to do. As he says to Krishna, even after asking Krishna to please instruct him, still he's like telling Krishna, I shall not fight. Right? I'm going to listen to you, Krishna, but I shall not fight. So then Krishna is basically chastising Arjuna in so many different ways, letting him know that, Arjuna, you're not learned, you're not a Pandit, you're not Dhira, you're not a sober, wise person, and you don't see the truth. You're not a Tattvadashibhi. So this term Sat and Asat, these are important words and concepts within the Vaishnava philosophy and within the Vedic literatures. And so even all spiritualists, the impersonalists included, they understand Asat and Asat. So Sat has different definitions, but Sat and Asat. So of course, as I've mentioned a few times, the letter A, the short letter A. So there are two A's. There's A and A. And the A has the little diacritic flat mark above it. And it's held for twice as long as the short A. So there's A and A. But when you put the A in front of a word, it means the opposite. So Sat and Asat. So Sat means eternal, and so of course Asat means not Sat. So there is Sat and Asat. Asat means not Sat. But anyway, so there's different meanings. So Sat and Asat. So being and non-being, real and unreal, true and false, good and bad, spiritual and material. And different Sanskrit phrases that Sat is used in is Satchidananda, so which is existence, knowledge and bliss, the characteristics of spiritual life. So Satchidananda is the most famously known in the Brahma Samhita, text 5.1, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. So Ishvara Parama Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is a form, Vigraha, form, Sakshirananda. So his form is Sakshirananda. And so there's a process in Sanskrit called sandhi, and it means the combining of words. So, for example, this Sad Chirananda. So, but the actual words that make it up are Sat. So Sat, not with a D. So Sad Chirananda is S-A-D, but the actual word is Sat, S-A-T. And in Sanskrit, in the rules of Sanskrit grammar, the D, or the T rather, of Sat changes to D or Da to make it easier to pronounce. So like in Sanskrit, of course, there's the verses, like Bhagavad Gita is 700 Sanskrit shlokas or verses, and they can be sung, and they all have a meter. There's eight syllables, and the most common meter is shloka meter, anustap, and it has 8 syllables per line. And it's not just that there's 8 syllables, there's a pattern to the 8 syllables. And sometimes the pattern might get changed, but not very often, of long and short syllables. And so anyway, this process of sandhi means the combination of words in Sanskrit so that they can be, so that the verse can be spoken more easily, so that it flows more easily. So if you look in the Bhagavad Gita as it is, you'll see that there's the Sanskrit words in the text, or the transliterated text, and then in the synonyms, the endings of many of the words are different than the words in the text. And so when Sanskrit is translated, there's a process that has to be gone through to take the text back to their original words, back to the original words. And then, and anyway, this is a little bit complex. It's a bit complex, and sometimes there can be multiple meanings to the words. So anyway, sorry, getting a bit into a bit too much detail in Sanskrit grammar here. But anyway, the term sandhi, there was the king Jarasandha, who Krishna and Arjuna and Bhima went to fight, and Jarasandha wouldn't fight with Krishna because Krishna had run away in one of the battles that he'd had with him, and he wouldn't fight with Arjuna, but he would fight with Bhima. And this fight went on for many days. I think it was like 30 days. And it was like it wasn't looking good, right? Bhima didn't know how he could defeat Jarasandha. There was like this constant wrestling that just went on and on and on. And anyway, Krishna got a twig and broke it apart like this. And then so Bhima took from this that he had to grab the 2 legs of Jarasandha and split him asunder, tear him in half, described in Krishna book and 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that he had, 1 leg and 1 eye and one testicle on each half, and so on. So Jarasandha was joined. There was 2 halves to Jarasandha. He'd been born, but there was 2 halves. So mother threw him away, and a witch called Jara, and Jara of course means old age, But the witch Jara found these two halves of Jarasandha and joined them together. And so Jarasandha means Sandha means joined. So in Sanskrit, Sandhi is the process of joining words together. So anyway, so if you hear the term Sandhi and in connection with Sanskrit, then you can remember the story of Jarasandha, and then remember that Sandhi means joining together. So anyway, so this term Satchidananda, existence, knowledge, and bliss. This is Krishna's form. His vigraha is comprised of existence, or Sat, Chit, knowledge, and bliss, Ananda. And so similarly, we, the Atma, the Jivatma, being part and parcel of Krishna, we're also, our very essence is also Sat, Chit, and Ananda. So we are eternal, or true, or real. There's the term Sattva. So this is this means existence, substance, reality, purity, and refers to goodness, the mode of goodness as compared to tamas, which is ignorance, or rajas, which is passion. So sattva. So, but again, sat, and then twa, and then satya. This means true, or real, or good, honest, pure, valid. And then satyam is truth, reality. And this word satyam is used by Krishna in chapter 18, text 65. Man manabhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mami vaishyasi satyam te pratijani priyo ashime. So mana, just think of me. Bhava madbhakta, just be my devotee. Madhyaji, just worship me. Mam namaskuru, offer your homage unto me. Mami vashyasi satyam te pratijani priyo ashime. So I promise you this in truth. Satyam, it's my promise. It's true. That I promise you that Mami Vaishyasi, you'll just come to me. And why? Because you are Priya, you are very dear to me. So anyway, so these terms, Sat and Asat. Sat is reality, the ultimate reality, and Asat is false. So the soul is Sat, eternal, and the body is Asat, so it's temporary. It's not that it isn't, it also has its own reality, but it has no permanence. It's temporary. So what Krishna is saying here is that there is no endurance of the asat, of the body. So it's here today, it's gone tomorrow. But that of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. So the soul is eternally existing. You, the living being, are eternally existing. So unfortunately we tend to identify with our body and our situation, and somehow we get all caught up in it and think that it's everything. But actually, it's just a temporary fading show, as Prabhupada sung in one of his very nice songs on the This World, a Different World album. That this world is just a temporary fading, passing show. It has no reality. It's asat, temporary. It's always has no endurance. It doesn't last. So if you build your life around what is asat, then you have no firm foundation. You're building, like the example that Jesus gave in the man who builds his house upon the sand, as opposed to building your house upon the rock. If you build, I don't know, like kids, they like to build sandcastles, on the beach. And then it's always like, but then the tide comes in and the sandcastle gets washed away. So your creation is gone. So similarly, in this world, everything is temporary. It's like whatever we build and acquire through great endeavor, it's temporary. And either it will cease to exist, or this body, this asat body, will cease to exist and will be separated from it. It has no endurance one way or the other. Whereas the spirit soul is sat, we're eternal, and we're eternally related to the Supreme Soul, the Supreme Sat, Krishna. So in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there's some verses where Krishna talks again at quite some length actually about Sat. So he says, this is in 1723, so from the beginning of creation, the three words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. These three symbolic representations were used by Brahmanas while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. So Om, of course, is and Om actually is another example of Sandhi. Om, like the letter O, what we call O, is combined of A and U. So the letter, what we call A, and the letter U, but in Sanskrit they're pronounced as A and U. Through the process of Sandhi, they become O. So sometimes you'll see the word Om written as A-U-M, or you'll see it as O-M. So both are correct. All right, the Om is the Sandhi version, and A-U-M is like the broken out non-Sandhi version. And so anyway, Om. So just a little bit about Om. It's like the spiritual seed, the original sound vibration, and like Om. So O, U, So all sound is contained within Om. So we've got the mouth wide open, the mouth half open, and then the mouth closed. So Om, A, U, So anyway, they could talk about Om at great length, but I won't. Anyway, so in text 26, the absolute truth is the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word Sat. The performer of such sacrifice is also called Sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance, and charity, which, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person, O son of Prita. So here, this is important in that Krishna is saying that Sat is the absolute truth. Krishna, the Supreme Person, right, is Sat. But he's saying that the performer of who's making a sacrifice to the Supreme Absolute Truth is also called Sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance, and charity, which are pleased to perform the Supreme Person. So activities in connection with Krishna, these are sat, they are eternal. They are the eternal activity of the soul, and they have eternal benefit for the soul. Whereas all our other activities are asat and have no permanent reality to them. Krishna then says, anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme, O son of Pritha, is impermanent. It is called asat and is useless both in this life and the next. So, thank you very much for listening. Sorry, my voice is like totally crapping out. If I talk too much during the day, I just lose my voice. And so anyway, Friday night, I have a class at Healing Chart 108, 7:30 p.m. Hawaii time. And there we'll be continuing our discussion of the Chaito Sloki, Bhagavad Gita text 10:8 to 11. But actually we'll be looking at the Chaito Shloki of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Sunday night we have a Bhagavad Gita class as well at Yoga Kirtan Hawaii at 7 p.m. Okay, so we'll do a little bit more Kirtan now. Thank you very much. Haribol.
Rama Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Jai Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita ki Jai.